Live stream.
Yes.
What we talked about earlier doesn't work so well with the live stream, so maybe we put that information in chat for the people who are literally present here.
Yes. It will go into chat. Yes. I will
What
put
we talked about earlier doesn't work so well with the live stream, so maybe we put that information in chat for the people who are literally present here.
yes. Okay.
Okay,
That was Lime Stream.
got to hear myself twice.
Yes, you did. So I'm going to put the other thing that we talked about in here. Ba-bum.
Because we have a special surprise for people who are live in our studio.
That's
It
right.
is actually a little bit of a secret that we don't want to be telling just any old everybody.
That's right. And there it is.
How come I can't see it? Is it in chat right now?
I just put it into chat.
Oh, well, I do not see it.
You don't?
I only see Avalon's Friday
Avalon
Surprise
said,
Love.
we love a Friday surprise.
Okay, well we can talk 'em through.
I'll do it.
Let's see. Oh, I know what I need. I need run of show, and I will have that in just a moment. There it is.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. See how great Steve sounds? His voice
So
sounds so strong.
let's do this.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the Life Writing Podcast Live, where married authors and screenwriters Stephen Barnes,
And Tanana Reeve do talk about writing during stressful times, breaking into Hollywood, and balancing life.
every episode will share more tips on how to build a better life while you create your dream projects.
Even if it's only at the rate of one sentence a day. Life writing is the application of the tools of writing to life and the tools of life to your writing.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the studio. So exciting just to be here. Always exciting to be here.
Really is.
His
I
voice
was
sounds so
telling
good.
I was telling the group that I kind of, when something bad happens or apparently bad happens, I kind of demand to get as much value as it cost me out of it. So the entire hospital thing cost a lot. So the question is, what's worth it? What would make it worth it? And that it is possible that an aspect of my teaching has matured because of what I had to do in terms of rehab, trying to figure out how to rehab myself. I was forced to think about things, and the whole warrior walk thing, the combination of ground engagement and farmer's walk or Tai Chi walk for those who can't carry anything, getting up and down from a chair if you can't get up and down from the ground. If getting up and down from the ground is easy, then you can move to a Turkish get up. If walking is easy, you can move to a farmer's carry, and there's no way to outgrow that. There's no way to get better than that. Just by increasing the intensity of what you're carrying, you're affecting your entire body, and by going up and down from the ground, you are literally moving through every plane that you need to be sure that that every doctor, every pediatrician looks at babies and says, can they crawl? Do they notice their environment? Can they crawl? Can they stand? That if they can crawl and they can stand, then they know that they tie that to their development. The same thing is true for us as adults. If you cannot stand up and get down on the ground and stand back up again, you cannot live independently. So it's I may have tripped into something here. And so the warrior walk for body, the ancient child for the heart, and magic formula for the mind. It's possible that that I've got tools that I got from other people. The heartbeat meditation from Sri Chinmoy, timeline therapy from Tad James. But in terms of the stuff that is kind of organic to what we're teaching here, organic to life writing, watching what happens as you become the character of a story, the lead character of a story that you're writing called your life. Um, it could be that we've crossed a threshold, which would be really interesting. I won't know until a year from now, and people give me feedback. But everything you need to do that is, oh, see, message. I see what happened. I need to. I put it in chat, but I see. Okay.
I added it on the main chat. I'll add it
Okay.
again because people who come late won't see previous messages, so I'll
Right.
put
Well,
it.
we can talk about scroll up. So what's happening is that on Sunday, go ahead. I've been talking. Why don't you go ahead and say what's going on, T?
Yeah, we're hosting a friends and family Zoom screening of our Sundance submission cut for The Keeper. No, I don't know if we're going to get into Sundance. We may not even have a chance of getting into Sundance, but we created a cut that we're very proud of. That is our progress so far. And we are going to play that full movie. Even for my class at UCLA, I only played the first 10 minutes for them. So you'll be the first group, outside of like our really tight circle who will see this full short. It's about 23 minutes and it will be at 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. And if you're looking at the chat, you know how to access it. I- we are being coy on purpose because I have a very protective instinct. I've watched how secretive Monkey Paw Productions is about their work. Like I've never like NDAs, passwords, expiring links. So I'm not just going out, hey everybody, here it is. It's not finished. It's not up on the streaming site where it will be hosted, which is Samansa, which is based in Japan. So it will be on a streamer. It's already been bought. I mean, the people who financed it are it's like a Netflix for short films, if that makes sense. They have all shorts, including Oscar winners. So yeah, join us Sunday if you are here live and you can see the chat. The details of how to see the screening are in the chat.
And I'm
Uh,
telling you, I'm shocked at the way, if you find the right people, the right editor, the right cinematographer, the right actors, and they begin to translate your vision to the screen. I am shocked to look and see how much of what we had in our minds made it to the screen.
True.
I mean, I give so much credit to the people who helped us with this. I truly do. So I hope that you're going to show up. I hope that you will enjoy it. And I hope that it kind of gives you a hint about what might be happening next with us as we make the moves that we can make.
And with
And
us and with you, if you don't mind me jumping in, honey,
no, please.
because it wasn't that long ago that I was a judge for a short film contest for the Horror Writers Association. And I looked at these shorts. We made a short back in 2013. We didn't direct it. Lucinda Fisher directed it. She later went on to win an Emmy for a documentary called The Dads, which is about the dads of trans young people that's on Netflix. And she won an Emmy for that. So we got her pre-Emmy and shot a film called Danger Word with Frankie Faison and Saoirse Scott. And, it did its little run, but that was like in 2013, and we've been talking for a long time about doing another short, but you kind of get seduced by the Hollywood game and attaching producers and doing features and getting into a writer's room. So our attention drifted away from shorts. We even did a whole podcast. I don't know if you remember, Steve. We did a whole podcast probably last year about how we need to make another short film.
Yeah, it's true. But if you
Yeah,
if you were to apply the magic formula to this, then you would see how the radio play that we did, The Walker,
true, true.
was our warm up for doing the short film. That we wrote it, we cast it, we brought in Jesse as our sound guy, but we recorded the sound, we worked with him to edit it all together, add background music, and it's up on YouTube. It is a
I'm
complete
gonna put the link to that in chat too.
great. Do that. Um, we are, what we want next is a feature. Now, what are the steps that we can take to apply magic to that? I think it's basically working every connection that we have. Once it's public, we're going to work every connection we have and listen to the responses and take meetings with people who can move us toward our goal. And that might be looking for funding. It might be someone who has an assignment for us, rewriting somebody else's script or writing a script or directing something for television. We don't know, but keeping your eyes on the goal means that you never do anything that isn't a movement toward that. Sometimes, if you're climbing a mountain, you have to backtrack in order to go around an obstruction. And there are lots of lateral moves that you might need to make in order to do that. But you ask yourself every day, how are the things I'm doing today moving me toward my righteous goals? And you're going to see this. You've been seeing this in real time. We can't front. We're not pretending with you guys. We've talked about our failures. We've talked about, when I got smashed flat with my health. We've talked about our successes. So you're right there with us. We're having a conversation about how to create a life of meaning in a particular pattern. And we are inviting you to quiz us about anything connected with this. Because this is, you know, the magic formula is specifically created for people who believe that they did not have luck or people who were disadvantaged in different ways. So, the other tools, if we need more tools, if we need to bring better tools or better resources for you, this is where we want to hear from you. What do you need to create the life that you want? Because we need tribe. It's finding other people who are on the same path, and we move forward together and we share. So I'm always, you know, getting out of the hospital. I don't even think I wasn't even out of the hospital the first time I came back from the break and did one of these. I did one from the hospital room, didn't I?
Did you?
I think I did
Maybe. I
during
think
like a
it's
diagram.
possible.
Yeah, I did.
I've
I know that
blocked
I did.
out
I
a
know
lot
that
of
I did
it. I
because
remember we had a meeting with Tokyo from the hospital, but
yeah,
yeah, okay, yeah.
No, your
we're
first one back was from the hospital. We could tell that everything was set up on the table that slid in front of you.
yes,
Okay,
there you go. There you go.
there it is.
So we're doing the best we can to be transparent with you. And all of that is to say, at this moment, I'll tell you honestly, everything's going great.
It
Everything's going
feels
great.
we're gonna go see Frankenstein at a theater tonight. That's how great everything is going. It,
And
it premieres it premieres on Netflix, so everybody can see it. But I've heard you have to see it in a theater if you can, and that's where it really pays to live in LA or New York for the limited release they did for Oscar season. So we're gonna
we're
see it tonight.
doing Predator
I'm
on
low
that
key mad
tomorrow.
that they jettisoned it to Netflix. I don't get it, but okay.
I would say follow the money. They must have had a great deal. That's all I can say. And I just heard that Kreger's, the guy who did Weapons, which was one of the top horror movies of this year, is struggling with his Netflix deal because they won't give him a release, and he wants to release. Why shouldn't he get it? I mean, first of all, why did he get in bed with Netflix? Would be my question. Maybe it's that money thing again, but I would imagine he thought he was getting
Netflix
some
is
kind of
swimming
release.
in cash.
Yeah. I'm not mad at Netflix. They gave $5 million to Prop 50 from what I heard. So Netflix is good with me
Yeah.
in California. Yay.
So there is that. Physically, I've been released from rehab. I mean, I'm going to go to one more on Monday. But basically, they said that I've surpassed all my benchmarks.
Y'all, it's a month early. It's a,
Two
like
months
he's,
early. I was
oh,
scheduled
right.
for 8 more sessions.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So, as far as I can see, the the progress that I've made is due to the program that I created, which is in chat, totally free. Eventually I'm going to be teaching this and charging people for it. But right now, while I'm trying to figure out what was it that I did, what am I doing?
Put it back in chat because when people come late, they can't see the previous chat.
Okay,
So if you want everyone to see it, you need to say it more than
I
once. It's my
will.
experience with it anyway.
I will do that. I will put it
Yeah, and
right
while you're
now.
doing that, I have to agree. He has been projecting his good health for years. I was so mad at all the supplements in the cabinet. I've never even told you this part. I was ready to throw all the supplements in the cabinet against the wall with anger, like rage. Like, how did you fail us? But sometimes these things happen. And as a matter of fact, I think every single one of those supplements is doing it. Nice job because this recovery has been incredible. I remember, without getting too, I don't know, I don't want to tell the story. Let's just say Steve has come back
No, you
all
can
the way
tell,
back.
if there's something that's only slightly embarrassing, go right ahead.
It's not that it's embarrassing, it's just very personal, in terms of markers for hope and why this feels like a surreal moment only a few weeks later, because there was a point where a marker for hope was pupils are equal and reactive. Okay, anyone who grew up watching Emergency or any maybe doctor show knows what I mean when I like his pupils responded to that's the sign of hope. That's what we're like, and then to go from that like through this whole journey to now where he's kicked the ass of the rehab and he's gonna be able to stop going to rehab 8 sessions early. I mean, I knew it. I knew it on one level at a certain point. There was always this faith that this was a temporary situation at every point in his healing. Raspy, raspy voice, can barely speak. Um, Hand-eye coordination, not like trying to touch his mouth and just watching that, like it was I mean, when I tell y'all, every step of this recovery was something that must have been terrifying from Steve's standpoint because he had so much ground to make up. But we both, and Jason too, I think we all felt hope. And I guess that hope was rooted in Steve's mindset and practices, maybe
Well,
more so than anything else.
I'll tell you, it started with breathing. I started
Yeah,
controlling my breathing.
literally
Then I
learning how to,
went,
yeah,
then I went from there to gratitude. What do I have to be grateful for? I'm still alive. Okay. So
exactly.
I never felt despair. Uh, and I did let myself get angry, mostly at myself, but sometimes at the hospital, things going on there. But every time I thought about my insufficiency, I kept asking myself, what do I need to do to get back on the horse, to get going? We've got miles to go. We have to finish this movie, So
You have book projects you wanted
I
to
have
work
book
on.
projects to work on. My beloved mentor, Larry Niven, is trusting me to help him, stay connected to who he is. I have to connect to who I am. Jason still needs me, my beautiful, amazing wife. I saw what Tananari was doing, going back and forth when she was exhausted, and I refused to fail her. I just refused. I said, I
Hmm.
will not fail her, period. No question, no negotiation. I will not. I just threw down the gauntlet. You can kill me, but you cannot stop me. That was the attitude that I had. And I wasn't afraid of death. I felt like I came face to face with that and was asked, do you want to go back? Do you want to continue? Or do you want an end to all struggle? And I said, I want to go back. And I was asked the most important question, why? And I didn't realize how important it was, even though I know that, you have the what you need to do and the how are you going to do it. But the most important thing is your why. Why do you want to write your story? Why do you want to create a business? Why do you want to lose that weight? Why do you want a relationship? Your why matters. And I had my why crystal clear. And because of that, I can now say honestly that I know what the rest of my life is. It's, escape suffering, embrace joy, be of service. So Life Writing Live is an opportunity that I have to be of service to you guys. And I appreciate so much you showing up every week and letting me serve you. And I hope that, that when we ask you for feedback or questions, raising your hands, please take advantage of that opportunity. So T, shall we do the what's going on?
Well, yeah, well, one second before we go to that, I just want to let those of you here who are part of the Life Writing Professional Workshop, because you've taken one of our master classes, that we are meeting again tomorrow, Saturday, the 8th, at noon Pacific time, 3 o'clock Eastern time. Even if you haven't read the stories, please do come for the fellowship and the craft talk. And if you have read the stories, even better, give your feedback. We are workshopping, Avalon's here, so I know Avalon better be there. We're workshopping her story. and I don't see Kevin, but we are also workshopping Kevin's story. So yeah, come back to Life Writing Professional. We are gearing everything up. And on that note, I'll talk a little bit about what's going on. Okay. So I'll tell you right now what's going on is joy. Joy, they say joy comes in the morning. This is the morning. Joy. I try to remember to wake up every day with gratitude. My way of voicing gratitude is often thank you, God, but there are many other ways to express gratitude. And I'm just trying to stay in that joy. But I will tell you the one downside of joy. This is gonna sound so petty, but while I was spending weeks and weeks in a heightened state of anxiety, some of you may know what this heightened state of anxiety feels like, where my stomach felt like it was shrinking to the size of a walnut. I did not have much appetite, you know. I never skip a meal. I mean, I never get to that point, but very often just like a can of soup, not even the whole can, like just to make myself eat something at night. And in the process, I lost a good 10 pounds, not just during Steve's crisis, but between July and like last week, I lost like 10 pounds. And I wasn't mad at that. Okay. I was not mad at that at all. That's like 10 pounds I've been trying to lose for years. And I'm like, well, at least there's a bright side. But here's the downside of joy. My appetite is back with a vengeance. So I am struggling so hard. I've also rediscovered the joy of flavor, and the joy of sweets. So I'm just trying to like keep it together, like just try not to like overeat, overindulge, just because cake finally tastes good. I didn't order myself cake the whole time Steve was in the hospital. I don't think I ever had cake. And now I want cake. I want cake. I want, you know, so back to willpower. I can't rely on what I call the stress diet. And it's not a healthy diet anyway. Halloween did not get me. I only ate literally two tiny little pieces of Halloween candy. And then I remembered, as I do every Halloween, I don't even like candy. So that was a good one. But it is going to be a struggle through the holiday season. I do like cookies. I do like savory, like Cornish hen. And oh my God, I love all the food. So I'm going to have to, no stress though. I'm not asking you for more stress, universe. I will handle this on my own. I'll handle it on my own. I'm not complaining. I'm just noting. Okay. That's what's going on with me.
Okay. So, the workout schedule, I wake up in the morning. Uh, there are vague thoughts until I kind of, finally decide it's time for me to kind of start moving myself towards wakefulness. I'll start wiggling my fingers and toes. Actually, I wait until they start wiggling automatically because, it's like, okay, they want to get up. Remember what I'm grateful for? Remember three things that I need to do today: sit up, work in my journal a little bit, maybe post something over on Circle at lifewright.com, just kind of a morning post, kind of get myself focused, get up, sun salutation, put in my contact list, sun salutation, do start doing my morning stuff, which right now is a sun salutation, followed by Tai Chi today. I did not do yoga today. I'll do it probably tomorrow. Stretching myself out. I'm pushing myself enough. Yesterday was the farmer's walk, warrior walk day. Today is back off Qigong, Tai Chi, yoga day. Just kind of feel myself recover. Working on the project with Larry. I've got the first two-thirds of the story we're working on together, and I'm taking advantage of the fact that stories look different on a computer screen, on paper, or when you hear it. So I literally have Speechify read the story to me while I'm looking at it on the screen and making changes. And I find that by Speechify, put into the screen, print it, work on it on paper, put it back in, Speechify, print it, that cycle. gets me all the way there because I'm looking at the story in multiple ways. I'm hearing it and experiencing it multiple ways. And I promised Larry that I'll have the first two-thirds of this story, which is called Sky Babies, uh, uh, ready for him when he gets back from a convention on Monday. So, why am I doing it? Both to move the story forward and to clear myself so I can work on my solo novel, Sigil, because it allows me to have playground with Larry, because it forces me, because I said I'd do it. Okay, so the question of why I'm doing it is both a career thing and it's a personal thing, that is going on there, and that's nice. So the heart is in the project. I care about the project a lot. So that's kind of what's going on. Then we'll go see Frankenstein tonight, and then we'll see Predator tomorrow. We got Life Writing Professional tomorrow, and then we'll be showing people the Sundance submission cut of The Keeper on Sunday.
Yeah, so that is fun. We've been sending the link out to a few select allies in the industry, directors, showrunners who kind of been friendly to us. Honestly, have not heard feedback back from any of them, which is a little nerve-wracking, but I'll be patient.
Well, a lot of them
And
probably won't watch it until the weekend.
yeah, and in fairness, a lot of them have said very positive things about the previous edit, and this one is, I would say, 10% better,
No, it's
at
more than
least.
10% better.
Okay.
I think that our music,
Hmm.
the reshoots that we did, it might be 30% better.
Okay, so it was the right call for our financier then to say we should go do some pickups and reshoots, and but I didn't like the way it happened, but I'm not going to get into specifics. It happened and we did it and we were able to do it. That's the good thing
Yeah,
because they
we had
weren't.
the money, and the freedom and the time. I mean, I barely was, I was able to be there. I had to sit down a lot of the time and I was walking around with
Hmm.
a cane, but I was there and I was able to do the things that I considered to be the most important that I that
Right.
that were necessary there.
Yeah. So I'm glad we did it. Very proud of it. Yeah. Very eager to share. And gosh, maybe we ought to invite our cast.
I thought about that too.
Let's
Can't
talk
hurt.
about that. Let's talk
Yeah,
about
we'll
that.
talk about that.
Okay. Yeah.
So, let's see. Before we open things up, we got what is there any subject that has to do with, the what we deal with here that you would like to address, T? I mean, I've always got mine.
I did, sometimes I do come with something in mind, but today joy is just the main thing on my mind right now. I am definitely in the holiday mode. I think we worked in all caps all this year, and I like to joke that every once in a while I retire, like I retire like a day at a time. So like yesterday I was semi-retired. Today I'm going to be semi-retired. And then if I have to like grind, I'm there. But I feel myself giving myself some grace, and I think that's important. I used work to fuel hope, and you used work to fuel hope during your recovery era, and we did like deep recovery, and we successfully were able to do that 12-hour shoot, which is something we were planning at a time when I did not know what the future looked like, but I knew I was going to be on that set, no matter what. Um, but that kind of mentality, I think it's important to balance our, particularly with us personally, but maybe some of you too, that drive to work, that drive to perform. Sometimes it's driven by financial reasons, and it's kind of hard not to when it's literally grind or die or grind or you don't pay your bills. I have some deadlines that I want to meet, and I have my UCLA class, which is virtual. So that cuts out 75% of the work is just driving to that campus and finding parking. So teaching the class is no problem. That's great fun for me. I have it on almost autopilot at this point because I love my topics. I teach Black horror. I teach Afrofuturism. So, having said all that, my goal really for the rest of this year is going to give myself as much grace as I can to work on the projects I really want to work on, but to keep the foot eased up off that accelerator a little bit so that I can regroup and refresh to kick 2026 in the face. That's my goal. I'm in vacation mentality, is what I'm trying to say, honey.
Unless you're already winding down from 2025.
Exactly. I'm like
Okay.
2025 is see ya. No. It had some great highs. It had some really epic lows. It's been fun. And I'm not rushing till January 1st because I want that all that vacation time. All that like it's like I'm not asking my boss for time off. It really it's not that I'll necessarily be doing less. I think it's more of a mindset. It's why I'm doing it. And that's why I'm saying what I enjoy doing, less at the mercy of other people making decisions for me, less doing things for other people's reasons. Like I just signed up to take part in a conversation on Octavia Butler that, maybe the National Library is doing. And even with that, and as much as I loved Octavia, I really thought long and hard, do I have that hour in my vacation time to do that discussion? Yeah, I do. It's for Octavia. I'll reach people who may not know me or my work. I like the topic, but I even that was under scrutiny, is what I'm telling you.
Cool. Well, somebody, Larry, was put over that his finances are on fire and not in a good way. So
Oh,
I wanted to do a couple of different things. One, I wanted to put up the link to
do you
the,
have it?
well, I wanted to put up the link to the Think and Grow Rich uh,
Oh,
audiobook, the summary. It is the best book on money that has ever been written. There are ways in which it can't be duplicated because nothing like it had ever been done before. And an awful lot of ways in which almost every success book that's come after it is just a conversation with Think Grow Rich. They just take like one chapter out of it and do something. So if money is an issue for you, you need to be listening to this for in the first hour of your day every day until money is no longer an issue for you. If you were to look at the magic formula, the map or model, action, gratitude, intention, and core, then this would be your map. This would be a huge M for you. It is simply superb. We were poor, but my mom made sure to program my mind with material that had to do with how I can succeed, in spite of the poverty, in spite of race, and in spite of a number of other things, the broken home and so forth and so on. So I would say if it worked for me, it would work for anybody. And I,
Steve, I just sent you a private message about finances as well. If
okay,
they've changed the format of messaging, so I don't know how it looks on your end, but do you see my message?
no, I don't.
Okay. We have a holiday fund that we haven't started our full publicity drive on. And I was just going to post the link if people want to make contributions to the
Yes.
fund. Um, so I'll do that. That's the first thing. This
Yeah,
is
and
something that
then we will
Steve,
be able to we'll post over on the life writing site.
on
People
Circle.
need, yes, circle, if you need us to help you. Uh,
Right, that was the part. Like, so we just started. We put in a little bit of seed money, but generally Steve gets quite a bit of contributions off of Facebook, anonymous donors.
yeah, we end up helping to the tune of, you know, many thousands of dollars every year. We can't afford to do that ourselves, but we can when the community steps in, which has happened in a beautiful way every year for the last 5 years, I guess, that we've been doing this. So if you can help, please do. And if
Yeah.
you have a need, please let us know.
So if you have a windfall, you're concerned about the government trying to starve out families during the holiday season, then absolutely, this is one fund you can consider. And basically, people are able to get, just usually it's just enough for a good holiday meal or to maybe close a gap for a utility bill, generally not. I mean, it's basically, I think the average contribution is about 50 to $100 that we're able to give people. So this is not rent money. It's not car note money, but it is money to make it sometimes through a week or through a meal. So yeah. Anyway,
Thanksgiving coming up, considering that gratitude is one of the core tenets of the magic formula, I think that it is good for us to have an opportunity to where, as a culture, we are thinking of gratitude, Thanksgiving. Uh, and I think that on Christmas, it's a beautiful time for people to contemplate peace and giving and being a source of love. So if we can make any, every action you do is a cause set in motion. If enough individuals take action, that can shift the entire world. So what we're doing is we're inviting you, and what we promise you is that 100% every penny of the money that is donated goes back out to those in need. Every penny of it.
yeah. In fact, we got taxed on it last year. We had to literally create a different PayPal because our bookkeeper automatically counted it as income and we got taxed the hell out of it last year. So we're not trying to go that route. And we're not trying to put it in our business account again like we did last year. We've had a separate account now.
We have learned.
We have learned our lesson.
We have learned our
But yeah, so I guess what's the best way for people to hear about that if it's not here? Like, let's say somebody
circle.
Circle. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you're
we do
not already on
circle.
Circle,
We do circle.
liferight.com.
We do circle, and we do Facebook.
Yeah.
It
Steve's
radiates out from
Facebook.
there. Yeah, my Facebook. It radiates out from there.
Larry has his hand up, so
Okay, let's go.
I'm going to yield the floor and bring Larry on.
What's up, Larry?
Well, well, okay. Sorry, there was a pop-up that came up about unmuting myself after I unmuted myself, which is weird, but okay. Um, First, I guess I'll lead with the win
Oh,
that I've
good.
experienced. We'll start with the good stuff. Um, 6 months ago, so a year ago I had the mental health crisis not too long after I got laid off. And I'm still jobless, but I'm 35 pounds lighter. When 6 months ago, which was the last time that I stepped on a scale,
Wow.
I
That's
was at
excellent.
three. I was at 325,
Yeah.
which is heavier than I've been in my entire life. And
Well, congratulations,
I
Larry.
decided
That
that I wasn't
is
going to look at the
awesome.
scale too much. I was just going to focus on doing good things.
So
And
let me ask you a question. Gaining that much weight is not easy. What were you doing that was different? The behaviors that
so,
got you there. What are
um,
the behaviors that changed?
my tech job was very sedentary, and I had the money to eat out, so I ate out a lot, and I was sedentary. And then my job was stressful, so I when I get stressed, I would turn to sweets,
Right.
and that not drinking enough water, all these bad things that over a period of months or a year added up. I mean,
Yeah.
mainly
Emotional
the
stuff,
sedentary.
environmental lifestyle. Sounds like it was lifestyle stuff. And then when you got fired, it became emotional stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
I feel like it became emotional a little bit before that because my mom's been sick a long time.
Okay.
So I feel like it became emotional even before that, but especially when that shoe dropped as well. And then my scale broke, and I said, well, you know what? It's probably good that I'm not looking at it all the time, because when I do that, it works for other people to have that number, but it hasn't worked for me because then I just focus on the number instead of the good things that I should be doing. And I'd hit myself because I didn't feel like it was
Right. You beat yourself
ha-
up with the number.
happening fast enough or whatever.
Okay. So what is the behavior? What could you do in the first hour of your day that would set yourself up for one success for a totally successful day? Because all which would include eating and moving in alignment. How much do you want to weigh? What's your perfect weight?
Um, I don't know that I have a perfect weight. I know that when I was physically training back before my father died in 2007, that I was at like 215.
Okay. What were you training
And
for?
I was just training. I just had a personal trainer and
So here's a
was
question for you.
very serious about it.
Is there anything you could do with that fitness? Because it is useful to have a goal. It's useful to know your why. So, in other words, like if I was fitter, I could take swing dance classes. If I was fitter,
Okay.
I'd be able to do this. I'd be able to do that. What is it you want to do with the fitness?
Okay. There is my area of the East Bay has three regional parks that kind of intersect. And my walking buddy always says one day we're going to do the trail and go all through all three of them, basically. Uh, which, and I said, okay, someday we'll do that.
How many
And
miles is
so
that?
I feel like that's, pardon?
How many miles is that?
Okay, so the Reservoir Trail is 2.5. I think the Reservoir Trail that I normally walk is 2.5 the miles. The different trails in the coal mines are 7 to 10, and then they intersect when the third park is opened. It'll intersect up with that, and I think that's about 10 as well if you counted all the trails. So
Okay.
that's
So, what you have before this other park opens up is about 13 miles of trails.
yep.
Okay. So what would be a good time? A time that you'd be happy with to walk those 13 miles?
All right, maybe a year from now I'd be able to do that.
No, no, no. What I mean is how many minutes, how many
Oh
hours
God.
should it take you to?
So, ooh, that's a tough question for me to answer right now.
Okay.
I don't know the answer to that. I know when I get around the trail at 2.5, it usually takes about an hour.
Okay.
Part of that is I lollygag a little bit
Right.
midway.
So what I want
If
you to
I
do is to, yes, there's nothing wrong with setting a goal, but I would say next summer.
if we do next summer, I'm definitely doing that in the morning because the
That's
sun
fine.
tries to kill you the rest of the year.
That's fine. That's
But
fine.
but yeah, next summer is a good goal.
I want you to have enough at a time where you have enough time to do it. In other words, if you lost 1 pound a week, you'd probably be getting in the right zone. But 2 pounds a week is totally doable if you are moving more and eating well. So trying to figure that out, and then what would you do with the extra energy? You need a job. Don't you think that having additional energy will help you get a job?
Oh, it's definitely helped.
Yeah.
It's definitely helped just in terms of the numbers of putting out there and knowing that okay, it wasn't injuries from the years of coffee service or whatever. It was that I just felt like shit because I was not being very kind to my body, and
So,
feeling the opposite of that and knowing okay, well I
so
can do
this,
these
so,
other
so Larry,
jobs that
Larry, if you
pardon.
tie all this stuff back to your emotions, which is valid, then what it says to you is that waking up in the morning and being sure to be grateful and to give thanks to your body rather than beating it up, thank it. If you can do that, if you can find the things you're grateful for, you're going to want to treat it better. If in wanting to treat your body better, owning it, understanding that it's part of who you are and feeling good about it, and then accepting yourself where you are, and then saying, what can I do today? Just today don't worry about yesterday and don't worry about tomorrow. What can you do today that would put you in alignment with the goal of walking this next summer? If you can see yourself walking it next summer and weighing 50 pounds less, 70 pounds less, this is doable. People do this. You could do this.
I've done it before.
That's right. You've done it before. And remembering that you did it before allows you to ask yourself, what emotional resources did I tap into that helped me? So in the morning, the first hour of your day should be aligning yourself to have a good day. You wake up, feel gratitude, ask yourself what three things you need to do, move your body to raise your energy level, then get out into your day. So we can help you with that process. But in terms of getting a job, I gave you a link to a condensation of Think and Grow Rich. Apply it to the magic formula, apply it to your life. Start listening to it. Replace the doom scrolling with hope scrolling, with programming yourself to be the human being that can protect and care for the little boy inside you. You're your own daddy now. So how does daddy need to be to take good care of that little boy? Because if you do that, then you'll get all the creativity you need to figure out how to get that job. That's just going to be a matter of creatively, researching, figuring out what it is you have to offer and figuring out how to present it properly so that people feel like you're a bargain. Okay?
Okay.
Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Um, just I think the thing that hangs over this that's like makes it harder to find gratitude in the day is I've kind of kept this close to the vest, but my mom is terminal and it's
Well, if
you
your
know
mom's terminal, so
um
be glad that you can be here with her when she needs you. Be glad, be grateful for the good times you had. We
that's what I'm
all
trying to
lose our
focus on.
parents. We're lucky we lose our parents. And they would consider, if they're lucky, they die before their children. Chinese, thing for one of the happiness is grandfather dies, father dies, son dies. In that order. You are in the flow of life. And it hurts. So right now, tell me one thing you can be grateful about.
That I still have her.
There you go.
That's
There you go. You still have her. And when she's gone, be glad that you had her for as long as you did. Okay? Because you could have lost her a lot earlier. There's always something to be grateful for, and your gratitude will determine the quality of your life, buddy. I'm sure she's grateful that you're there.
I know
She's
it.
It reminds me, I'm sorry, Larry, I don't want
No,
to
no,
step
no,
on you there,
no, you're
but
not.
I've been through a long illness with my mother. She had a brain tumor. And for a long time, my sisters and I were so focused on trying to restore her to milestones that we were used to, feeding herself even, that we lost sight of where she was and what was right in front of us. And that's kind of my biggest regret is that I was so busy wishing for something that wasn't so that I couldn't, even as painful as it was, my sister had a much easier time talking to my mother, even when she couldn't answer. I would sit by the bed and not know what to do and what to say. And I look back now and wish I had been able to adapt better to the changes and adapt better to the moment so that I could get the fullest out of the relationship wherever she was. So that's the advice I would give to you is that the time when she is still alive, especially if she can still hear you, I don't know, where she is in her illness. Can you still hold her hand? At every stage, there is
Yeah,
something we can do.
so Larry,
yes.
I want you to get clear on what you have to be grateful for, and that when she's gone, be grateful you had her as long as you did, so that you set yourself up so that you win. The greatest gift you can give your mother is for her to know that if she dies, it will not break you. Because if she's going to feel like if I die, because she's struggling to hold on unless she knows you're going to be okay. You need to give her the gift of knowing you're going to be okay. In other words, that she did her job as a mother. Give her that gift, Larry. You can. You can do this, and we will be allies with you in this. I've lost both my parents, so I know exactly where you're coming from. Okay? All right, Larry. You take care, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you for allowing me to share.
You bet. Let's see. We got Jad W. Hudson.
It should say Jade. It's my type
Jade?
didn't quite work out today. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, can you get your camera? There you are.
Let's see. I have to see how monstrous I look here. Let me see if this will work.
Yeah, the only thing is we can't spotlight you without an image. We don't have to if you're feeling shy. I don't want to put pressure on you, but we'd love to spotlight you.
Let me see here. I'm trying to turn it on.
And
But
if
it's
it doesn't work, that's fine. You can just share.
Okay.
okay.
So what's up with you today, Jade?
All right. Well, first of all, let me just say I'm a lurker, so I had to screw up my courage to do this, to ask a question.
Fantastic.
Yes, but I wanted to thank you both. So I write romance, but I love horror. And so I got turned on to Tanana Reeves writing and then learned about the podcast. And then from there, I learned about Life Writing Premium. So I signed up for that. And I also took your How to Write Your Horror Story in 30 Days class as well. So
Great.
I see quite a few of you guys. I see you every day at different stages and ages. And, it's like going back and forth. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm learning a lot. So I pitched to my agent a book that I wanted to do that's horror with a strong romance element to it. And she loved the idea. And so I'm working on putting together a proposal. However, a fundamental question, and I think the struggle I am having with myself every day is first person or third person. So I will say The Shining is my favorite book in the entire world. Like it is like next to the Bible for me. I think I know it by heart. So I'm a big fan of that close third person perspective.
Yeah.
However, I also see the merits of doing first person and just kind of the possibilities of, I think, just demonstrating some emotions in greater depth of doing that too.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
When you think about the story, is all the information you need to tell the story available to your point of view character?
No.
Then you probably don't want first person because you'll have to break it in order to give the additional information.
Well, I
If
did
you,
plan on dual POVs. So you'd get it from alternating perspectives.
Mm.
well, you could try it because it doesn't take that much to shift, to do a rewrite. Which would be the most fun.
That's the thing, and I don't know how definitive our advice is going to be on this. I mean, I write almost everything in close third.
Hmm.
Um, the last thing I think I wrote in first person was a short story, and we also, if you listen to us, we encourage people to write short fiction as well. So
Yeah.
maybe your answer is to try a short story from the larger work in first person and try a short story from the larger work in third person to see which one feels better. In my case, for Incident at Bear Creek Lodge, I think I wrote that in first person because it was an older person telling a story that had happened to him when he was a child.
Hmm.
And the perspective and context that he had and as an adult, unless I'm completely misremembering the story, which is possible, helped give it more texture and richness. Like there was a reason it was in first person.
Yes.
It had happened in the 70s, it was clearly in the past. I don't know, if you were going to write it as a series of diary entries or letters or something like that, because that was important to the story, then I would be like, well, that clearly sounds like that needs to be first person. But I don't know. Honestly, there are very few differences between close third point of view and first person.
Hmm.
Very few for
If
me.
it's first person, when you think about the story, do you think about it kind of cinematically with multiple characters? So you kind of imply that you do that, or do you see it as if you're a single shark moving through an ocean of possibility? just that one point of view.
No,
That's
multiple characters.
multiple characters. Then I would suggest do close third
Okay.
because first person, multiple points of view, first person is a real juggling act. It's a real juggling act, and don't
Yeah.
ask that from yourself unless you're already pretty advanced.
I do it in the romance context, but I don't mind kind of, and I think I'm also kind of asking myself, this is very helpful. Thank you for allowing me to kind of air this. I don't know if I'm supposed to do it in this format, but thank you.
Oh, that's
I'm
fine.
also
But
asking
what
myself,
I got a question for you. Are you published already?
yes.
Oh,
Okay,
great.
great. Oh, well, then forget what I said
Then really,
No,
about
then really
I'm
it's
not
short
easy.
that I won't get
stories.
it.
But
You
take
don't have to do the
Tanari's
short
advice.
story
Right?
exercise.
Take Tanari's advice. Write a short story set in your world. Do one first person, one third person. See which one you like better.
Okay.
I'll just throw this out anecdotally, and for you as a published writer, this might not be an issue. But when I was teaching in an MFA program, I had a student who had trouble accessing his character's emotions in close third person point of view for whatever reason. There was some kind of stumbling block,
Hmm.
too much authorial sort of command of the language and not getting in there. So as an exercise, I said rewrite a scene from your story in first person. And it was an overreach. Instead of getting more a clearer shot at his emotions, he became super, super obsessed with the lint on his clothes. I mean, it was just like too much. It was like a magnifying glass that was too close to the character.
Okay.
So that's just FYI. You might not have this problem in either spectrum where you can't access emotions in third person or you're overly uh, just frankly sitting around in the character's head in first person thinking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know where you would be, but I think that that great middle ground, I mean, just me personally, I love close third, and my opinion is emotionally you can do anything in close third that you can do in first because that's what the close is. There's a more distant third person where that might not be true, but if it's close, close
Yeah.
means you're in their head and you're seeing and you're feeling, and the advantage is every once in a while you can throw in an omniscient statement and jar your readers a little bit.
Okay.
All
Thank you,
right.
Tanari.
This is awesome. Thank you.
We'll
Good.
pass it
Good
to
luck with
Suzanne.
that. Suzanne's hand is up. Hey, Suzanne, welcome. I'm gonna spot. Okay, there you are. Good to see
Well,
you.
hello, everybody. How are you?
We are
Hi, how
doing
are you?
fantastic.
Yay! A couple weeks ago, Stephen challenged me to write something new because I had been reworking some old stories and sending them out instead of doing something new. And I posted that on Circle this morning. So anybody who would like to take a peek at it, it's short. I think it's like 2,800 words. Um, but any feedback or any opinions would be great. Yay! Thank you for the prod, Stephen.
You're welcome.
And
What can we do for you today?
well, I am trying to decide on some goals for next year.
Okay.
In
So,
the past, oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh, no, go ahead. Make sure that your goals, th your body, your heart, your mind. Be sure that you're handling all of it. You
Hmm.
don't leave a major piece of yourself behind.
And the
So,
finances too.
well, mind is
Hmm.
finances.
Okay.
Well, my sticking point or what I'm debating is regards to my writing and the Horror Writers Association's conference that happens next year.
Okay.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
Stoker Con is in June, and there is a local writers conference here that's in April.
Okay.
What I'm still working on my short stories, and so far I've had two of them accepted.
Great.
Yay!
Oh, hello. Let me get my sound effects bank geared up here. Yeah. That's awesome.
But I still want to work on getting that. Oops, sorry. I still want to work on getting more stories out there and more stories accepted. Those two, I think, are just the beginning. I don't feel like I'm at a professional level yet.
Mm.
Um, I wanted to, about 15 years ago, I wanted to write a novel, and I did. It was like 144,000 words. It was way too long. But um that experience was great for me. So what I had at one point I had thought about getting something together to pitch at the conference, but at the same token, because I don't feel like I'm a published author yet. I don't want to be in the position where I'm pitching something and somebody wants to see it and it's not done yet.
Well,
You
you
know what I
don't have
mean?
to, if you've published enough short stories, you don't have to finish a novel before you sell it. But they're not going to buy a novel from somebody who isn't published because they don't know whether or not you can finish.
And
Hmm.
I will say also, it's a little probably
Hmm.
tougher too to get someone to buy a novel based on an outline if you haven't published a novel
Hmm.
previously.
Hmm.
It's
So your
not
task is to more
impossible,
short
but
stories.
sorry.
I would say your task is to publish more short stories. And
Hmm.
if you meet an editor who is simpatico and you say, can I buy you coffee? Then you say, you tell them who you are and what it is that you're doing and where you are in your career. And they will probably appreciate your honesty. You tell them what the book that you want to write, and you feel like, I'll be ready to start writing that. And they'll probably say, when you've got it together, send it to me. And you will have
Hmm.
a friend
Okay.
on the other side of the issue. It's critical to the step through the curtain and see the puppet show from the other side. Okay, where you start understanding that it's not magic, it's work and courage, it's discipline and heart and honesty, connecting to your creative force. That once you see that, in my mind, it becomes even more magical because you see everything that stops the people who can't get there. The way their fear stops them, their indecisiveness stops them, their ego stops them, and you start getting a fantastic appreciation for the people who've been able to share their visions with us. It's like, what kind of a human being is Ryan Coogler? Who is he that he has command of so many different levels of the writing process, the creative process, the communication process? He's a walking human miracle. Stephen King, how do you connect with something inside yourself that deep for this long and do so much every damn day? That is not normal. It's a miracle. So, so demystifying the process is stepping into the true miracle. So
Hmm.
go to these events, and what you want is to have conversations with as many professionals as possible, especially the professional editors and agents. You might talk to an agent and say, "This is what I've done. I've published." If you've published another couple of short stories before, you might be able to get yourself an agent.
Okay.
Because if they know that you're already on, what agents want is somebody who's going to go out there and make them money. An agent isn't going to build your career. An agent will
Hmm.
take, I forget what Robert McKee said, that he talked to one agent saying, the agent said, well, what do you want? He says, I want you to help me build my career. And agent says, I don't build careers. I catch them at the top and write them down. I mean, that's a slight exaggeration, but they want you to
Hmm.
already be in momentum.
But you
It's
know what? You could win a contest or a prize from a short story. And
Okay.
that, like Steve said, could catch the attention of an agent. You might get in a best of anthology or, an anthology that gets a lot of attention.
it
And
depends
from
on the genre
there,
started the
it's
short stories.
it's not as heavy a lift. Like, here's how it would work theoretically if you were able to sell a novel in advance, which isn't always the way to go because, you'll get more for a finished novel than you will
Hmm.
for an unfinished novel, even if you're able to entice someone to pay you in advance. But it would be 3 chapters probably, and then an outline, which is basically a treatment for how the rest of the story would go. I sold Blood Colony, my third book in the African Immortal series, based on a 30-page outline. 30
Hmm.
pages. It was like literally chapter by chapter. And I had published several books with that publisher. Although with Saga Press for the Reformatory was doing so well that I sold what I called Bear Creek Lodge, and now it's called Maisiewood, with a 1.5 page outline. So that was all just the promise of what had come before. Whereas with My Soul to Take, that editorial board really wanted to know, okay, what is this novel about? And what is going to be happening chapter by chapter? Which is why
Hmm.
it's a good skill to have to be able to outline, because sometimes you can turn that around and get paid, even in prose, even though it's not as common as in film and television. But honestly, writing it on spec, which is what I did for the Reformatory, as long as you give yourself a deadline, don't make the
Hmm.
mistake I made and not have a deadline.
So you've got very clear goal career-wise.
Yeah.
Is there an emotional goal, which might be, dealing with a phobia or making, seeing your friends more often or having a date night with your sweetie more often, anything like that? Can you think of a emotional goal?
My phobia actually has to do with something very, very simple.
Which is?
Walking around outside unaccompanied.
Okay. So start carrying a
It,
knife. Serious.
okay,
Start carrying a knife and watch YouTube videos on how to use it. The
okay,
simplest thing is somebody reaches for you, anything they reach for, cut it. But
okay.
a knife and a couple of hours of instruction, if you've got the willingness to protect yourself. So imagine that the little girl you were is now your daughter and she's walking with you. Now you've triggered into the mommy part of you that will do anything to protect that little girl. And now you will move differently. You will not
Hmm.
move the same. So knives are your friend. A knife and a little bit of understanding of how to use it makes a woman the equivalent of a man who weighs a lot more than her and is aggressive. Knives are terrifying. For all practical purposes, there's no such thing as a knife disarm technique. There are people who can disarm knives because they've got the timing, the distance, the speed, the courage, but there's no technique
Hmm.
to do it. Okay. So it's an enormous advantage. And it's just one of the things you can do. But carrying a weapon, you're a primate, use a tool. Okay. And walk
Okay.
with purpose and understand that if you're worried about men, for instance, and that's the usual dynamic, remember men are just as scared as women. They can be hurt just as easily.
Hmm.
So you understand, get in touch with the predator part of your personality, your attitude of no matter who you are, no matter what you know, no matter what you do, I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to hurt you badly.
Hmm.
Get out of my way.
Well, my morning walks is where it actually came up. I lost my dog a few months ago, and she was 15 and had always accompanied me. So it kind of surprised me the first time I went out to walk by myself that I kind of felt uncomfortable. So, yeah, that's something definitely.
Even
Thank you
just
for
walking
the.
as if you know where you're going is a huge advantage. But a
Mhm.
walking stick or a knife, as long as you have, have an idea, if this is what I would do.
A baton
So,
flashlight. I used to have a flashlight. We still have them, though. They need batteries. Shaped like a baton
Mhm.
is a good practical item to carry if it's dusk, for example, which is when I like
Mhm.
to walk.
yeah.
Mhm.
Now, in terms of your body, you might say to yourself that you're going to get a knife or a stick and you're going to watch some YouTube videos or you're going to take a class. Just, go to, if you find a Filipino martial arts instructor and say, I would like 2 hours of private instruction on using a knife.
Mhm.
That would be an amazing gift to yourself to feel, you have teeth and you have claws. Remember that. Okay. Men and women in our culture play a game of acting as if women are weaker than they are and men are stronger than they are. And it's a game that we play because it creates some stability that's very useful socially. But as
Mhm.
we change, you have both the right and the responsibility to know that you are that bitch. Okay? You just
Okay.
are. Okay? Own your claws, own your teeth, own the part of yourself that would defend a helpless child. Okay? All right.
Okay.
You take care, sweetheart.
All right. Thank you.
You bet. Che.
And sorry about your dog.
Yeah, I
Yes.
started laughing right then, so I definitely did not mean to laugh about your dog.
Yes, you did.
Oh,
You're a bad man. Anyway,
just such a bastard.
yes, you
Um,
are.
hey, okay, so one of my challenges for the past week was to raise my hand this week instead of waiting to be called on. So
Good.
mission accomplished there.
Excellent. Excellent. Next.
Um,
Oh, no, just kidding. So, so what can we help you with?
um,
Congratulations, Ted.
yeah, I am making a lot of progress just by setting some deadlines for myself you know every week.
You mean, is it like
Today,
every week you know what you want to have accomplished by the end of the week?
by the end of the week, yeah, basically.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So on Sunday,
Deadlines are the best.
in an
Really, it's
hour on
Friday.
Sunday,
I'm just like, I better have this done before I go to life writing.
write it
Like,
down. On
yeah,
Sundays, plan your week. Then
yeah,
every day, so it's like in 6 months, in 3 years, I want to be here. In a year, I want to be here. In 6 months, I want to be here. 3 months, I want to be here. At the end of this month, I want to be here. At the end of this week, I want to be here. So then you wake up in the morning, feel, while you're wiggling your fingers and toes, feel gratitude. Remember where you want to be at the end of the week. And then what 3 things do you need to do today to be on track? And literally, it gets easy from there because it doesn't take that much to take a single step. And as long as you know that you're taking the minimum, you're free for the rest of the day if you want to quit. For a writer who's just beginning, it's just one sentence. That's it. For somebody like you who's more advanced, it's a little more. But if you know that, and then you do that first, you do that early in the day. It's the done by one philosophy. If
yeah.
you can get all the most important stuff done by 1 o'clock, or through by two, or free by three, or out the door by four, or alive by five, or whatever you want to do. Then you choose a time like one, and you say, I'm going to spend an hour writing, or I'm going to do 2 pages writing, or something like that. And that's all I have to do. You are literally free for the rest of the day. And the feeling is unbelievable. When you've got several of those days under your belt, where you've done everything minimum that you needed to do by 1 o'clock, whoa, it shows you. First of all, it shows you how much you've been cheating yourself. You let everything else get in the way. That you forgot that you were the most important thing. You are the axe. You're what does it. You have the right to make yourself happy and healthy. You actually have a responsibility because if you will take responsibility for yourself, you can free 10 other people who are looking at you and saying, if he can
Hmm,
do it, I can do it. Okay? And you have a
yes.
specific question for us today before I move on, because we're having people asking questions now. And this is exactly
Yeah.
what we need, because otherwise we will just talk, and it's much better to have a conversation.
Yeah. So my question, it's a little, it's kind of a weak question, but I have, like
Stop it. Don't you
every,
dare.
okay, all questions are acceptable.
That's right.
Every once in a while, even once a week, twice a week, I will find that I'll get like a little bit knocked off track,
Yes.
and
No, 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 no. First of all, that is what happens. Expect that. This is why you have to, write your goals down, put them up on the wall, look at them every day. Am I taking a step towards it? Because, in my rehab, they have me close my eyes and walk in a straight line. You're never going in a straight line. You will always, a plane traveling between Los Angeles and Honolulu is off track 90% of the time. You have to keep reorienting
mm,
yourself. That is totally natural and normal. If you predict that, now you know why every single day you say, what's my goal? Am I heading that direction? What 3 things do I have to do? End of the day, you take a look. Did I do the 3 things I had to do? Yes? No? Then how did I mess myself up? What do I need to do tomorrow?
Jay,
Then
did you finish your question?
yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay,
basically,
okay. Just checking.
yeah,
yeah, I can just jump in, and it's like, and I apologize in advance for that. So I love talking about this stuff so much.
yeah,
Um, so take it for granted that part of the process is you will be knocked off center. It always happens. The more often this is why when you're taking a cross-country trip, how often do you check your map? You check your map every couple hours, you know? You check the signs where you're going. Other than that, enjoy the drive. You listen to music. You get off and try the local hamburgers. But you keep checking your map. Every day when you get out of the motel, you look at the map. What do I need to do? I need to get this many miles along I-5 or whatever the hell it is. That's the value of goals and checking your values. Who am I? What do I need to do to be in alignment with who I am? What is the world? And how do I need to behave to get the reactions from the world that I need? Right now, at this moment, this might not be true later, but at this moment in my life, everything is working at this moment. And I want to be so grateful for that and ask myself, how did we do this? And what do we need to do to stay on track? And what can I share with my people, with my tribe, so that they can get the same results? Because if we can do it, we can help other people. You know, you want abundance in your own life, abundance of energy, abundance of success, abundance of emotion, abundance of money. Right now, we could not help people for the Christmas season if we did not have abundance. I want you to have abundance in every arena of your life. So that sense of, oh my God, another day that I can do, I can move myself forward. What do I need to do? How am I off track? And laugh about it. Oh, I see. So getting all of your dogs to pull the sled in the same direction is an art form. Those puppies, it's hurting cats. It really is. So so you can't, that's right. You cannot herd cats. But what you can do is put down a dish of tuna and the cats will all come. So the clarity with which you see why you're doing something, what you're going to get out of doing it, will get all your cats moving in the same direction. So you can move back and forth between cats who have to be pulled by a delicious vision and dogs that want to play with you and will pull the sled because they're playing a game with somebody that they love. They say, go this way. Okay, I'll go this way. Am I good? Am I a good boy? To understand that we contain multitudes, to be able to move between the different aspects of who it is that we are. And by the way, this is the first time I ever said the dog and cat thing quite like that. That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, it cracked me up too.
This, to understand you're playing a game,
Mm,
and the fact that you raised your hand means that you won. You won the game today. Okay? Let's keep winning, okay?
yeah.
People are watching you and saying, if Che can win, I can win. All
All
right.
right.
You
Thank you.
take care. Michelle.
Unmute. Hi. I have been a lurker in a different kind of way. Over the pandemic, when we were in lockdown, I took your Afrofuturism course and your Black Horror course. I tap in and out of this. I'm usually volunteering on Fridays, but now that it's too cold to work outdoors, I'm trying to come back to making more of these. And the last
Welcome.
time I saw you, I did your 3 lies of horror writing, and when you said there's a difference between goals and plans, and you need to define process, that like hit a switch for me. Um, and so
Yeah, what process system? What do I
yes,
need to do every day such that a year from now I'll look back and feel that was a hell of a good year?
yeah.
You
So
know?
my question for you around that slight switch, I decided that my process was going to be to do the save the cat formula.
Oh,
And I want to know from both of you, what do you feel are the benefits and the limits of that kind of that process?
okay. So allow me to make to try to boil it down really quick so I know we're on the same page. Save the cat basically means that every scene and every story, you know exactly what's motivating everybody. Save that poor cat, that there is an urgency to everything and that that urgency drives the story. Is that pretty much
Is
accurate?
that what you mean? Or are you talking about the book Save the Cat, which
Oh,
I have not read?
I'm talking about the book, and I know it's controversial.
Could you
But
actually distill it for us?
Well,
Because I've
oh,
heard people
that's
sure.
what
talking
I was
about it.
trying. That's what I did at the beginning, and I was
Oh,
waiting
is
to
that
see
what you,
whether or not she agreed that that's the basic thrust of it.
oh, okay, okay, okay.
I think that it is, but I also think it's a little, yeah, I would say that that's basically what it is, but I also think it's the piece about, is this primal? And I think that is aligned with what you're saying. Like, what is the urgency? What is the drive? What is,
In other words, what is the why? It's the same thing in
exactly.
your goals. So
Yeah.
why am I doing this? Why did I not want to die?
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
must your characters make a change? Because there's always going to be an obstacle. Okay. We'd rather just sit around and eat popcorn and watch television. What gets us off our butts? So there has to be a why, and it needs to be urgent, and what that term of primal. So I can totally agree with that. Save the
I
those.
would, yeah, I would, if I can just jump in for a second, I would also say that even though I haven't read Save the Cat, that does definitely dovetail with Robert McKee's teachings on intention. Like, what is our objectives, rather? What is the objective? Like, what is your protagonist's objective for the whole story? And I think where a lot of writers fall off is what is your character's objective just in this scene? Like, because if we're in a scene and we don't know what your character wants, or especially if you as a writer don't know what the character wants, it's very easy to kind of tread water. And that's where you end up looking at the lint on the sleeve. That's where you end up over describing every physical object in the room because you yourself are treading water. You don't really know why your character is here. And I think having the super intention, I think is what he calls it, or super objective, and scene objective is absolutely critical in creating compelling fiction. And I just caught myself on this because I'm working on a novella and I'm listening to it also on Speechify going, well, what does this character want to be doing? Like I've said, well, she's not happy. She doesn't want to be here. What does she want to be doing? I don't know. I have to figure it out.
So, Michelle, if that does that answer the question? Was there another question beyond that? In other words, if we
Just,
accept that,
yeah.
what then? So let's say that we agree with it. What then?
So if you agree with it, I think, well, I will say that I don't know if I totally agree with it, but what I will agree with is that it has gotten me writing and has clarified a script that I feel like I approached in the entirely wrong way because I had no plan, I had no process. I started to write it like I write short stories and kind of other things. Like I just,
So
it's
let me ask you
thought
a
and
question.
emotion and there's no plan.
Okay, are you published?
Hmm.
No, that's
Okay.
a goal.
Okay. So why do you want to be published?
I want to be published because I know I can do it, and I would like to share a story, but all
You'd
the
like to
stories
share
that
a
I have in
story.
my head.
Does that is your would that enable you to express your heart? You feel like it enables you to make a positive change in the world? Or is it
I think,
self-expression?
yeah, I think it will make a positive change in the world because the thing that I want to write and the stories that I want to tell have a lot to do with um, my family, my maternal family story, and I think that story resonates with a
Okay.
lot of
So
people.
you would like to change the world, and you would also like to honor your ancestors.
Yeah, I would love to hope that it would change the world, but if it doesn't, it'll be out there for somebody to find later.
Okay. So that sounds pretty primal to me.
Mhm.
So if that is true for you, why wouldn't it be true for the people in your stories? That they, in order for them to do something, there has to be a reason for them to do it. What is there to disagree with about that?
I don't think there's anything to disagree with. I just wanted to know if you felt like um, it's a valid process, like the save the cat ethos, the process,
Well,
because
I
it's,
don't
yeah.
know the steps that he
Mhm,
that he has in there.
mhm,
I've seen a lot of commentary on it.
Yeah.
I've never read it, but I've seen people talking about it, and I've seen some synopses of it. The basic notion, which would probably be, his version of the hero's journey. The person becomes aware that there's something that needs to be done.
Mhm.
The urgency has to overcome the resistance.
Mhm.
Then he or she does things to try to accomplish that goal and is constantly knocked off course, and the urgency gets them back onto it. That there will be points at which it feels like nothing is working, and they have to grow or change in order to do it. They have to solve a problem of some kind. All storytelling follows a pattern like that, or that pattern can be sensed underneath it. It might only be a couple of degrees of arc, but you can sense the circle. Okay. So there are too many people who have enjoyed that book for me not to think that any process that feels good to you,
Mhm.
feels like I understand this, is a way into the story matrix. What you're
Yeah.
looking for is a way to understand story that enables you to tell the stories you want to tell in a way that people will give you money for.
I like that part.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
tell the truth. I want to make money from my writing. If you don't tell that truth, look, you have to tell yourself the truth. In that sense, you're writing a story about somebody who has to tell themselves the truth about wanting to make money from their art. When you can clarify that and understand that all that is that the person who gets it feels that you did something that's of value to them. Now let me reward you by giving you some of my value, my money. Okay, that's all it is. If they consider it to be of value, they'll pay you. As long as you stand up and say, I must be paid. Which is the rough equivalent of the blind storyteller wandering from campfire to campfire, being offered a flagon of mead and a joint of lamb. Now tell us a story about Hercules. Tell us a story about the Trojan War. If you want to be a storyteller, embrace the notion that what you are doing is of value and that you need to be paid for your work, your time, your energy, your life force. The stories are free, but my life force costs you. Okay?
Yes. Thank you.
You betcha. All right, T, we're pretty close to the end here. Is there anybody else who has their hand up who needs to be served quickly? Because if
I
not,
know my lunch is on the way, and the new appetite version of me can't wait to eat.
all right. Well, then why don't you give us your closing thoughts, T?
Well, why don't you all go out and make yourselves the hero or heroine in your own story?
The hero in the adventure of your lifetime. Unmute yourselves. Everybody say goodbye to everybody.
Bye bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye,
Bye now. Have a
everybody.
great week.
Everyone.
Everybody,
Party
have a great
Sunday.
weekend.
Woohoo!